Oh, hey guys. Welcome back, fans of our podcast, Bite My Shiny Metal Cast. We're here today to do the Farnsworth Parabox episode of Futurama from season 5, episode 10.
Yeah.
So don't forget to like, subscribe, comment on our thing too, please. Here I am, Mitchell. I am now the host today because we are in Universe Mongoose. And this is my co-host person thingy
Yep.
bobber doodle friend Anthony.
Yep, I'm the co-host today. This is interesting for me. This is
Other
interesting
Anthony.
for me. Yep. Go for it.
So here we are, opening credits.
Yep.
Futurama beats a hard kick in the face.
Nice.
Well,
that is very true, I suppose.
This episode especially beats it.
Yes.
So we do the credits and everything, and then goes to the opening scene of the Futurama Planet Express building, and everything's dandy. And then within a couple milliseconds, boom, crash, exploding, and then we hear the professor scream, "Ooh, ooh, ah!" in English. So as we hear him scream, we cut to inside the building where Bender's sleeping at the office table, snoring, and then we go to Leela and Fry on the couch in the break room or whatever you want to call it, and they're talking over the explosions and stuff like that. It's like, why won't you go out with me? Oh, I don't know. I have a toaster that's still on. I gotta turn that off. And
making
so
all the bad excuses, right? Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm pretty sure everybody who's had someone interested in them has come up with excuses, or even just like a friend wanting to hang out. You're just like, dude, it's my day off. I don't wanna.
Yeah. I got better things to do, but you can't. You don't want to hurt their feelings, right?
I just want to relax and play games today, man.
Exactly.
That's all I want to do. But it's different from someone being infatuated with you. As the very small experiences that I have,
it feels a little bit more guilt-ridden, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's like this person likes me, but I don't like them, so I'll let you down easy. I have my toaster still on, but we also hear in the background of the professor going, "Buddha, Zeus, God, what do you guys do something?"
Yeah.
And then we get some more stuff from Leela and Fry about talking. Why won't you go out with me? And then we also hear Professor Satan, you owe me. And then Leela's going to reply, but just as about she replies, all the explosion and screaming stops. And Fry
She's
laughs.
never one to stop that.
So what do you think? And then it cuts to the next scene going, the professor going, "Good news, everyone. I'm still technically alive. And I need you guys to destroy this box that I created from my crazy invention, and we need the sun because it's the only thing that'll actually destroy this box."
So what is it? What is it about this box that's so tantalizing, Mitchell?
I don't know. I don't remember quite what he says there. I think he says it contains a universe or something.
No, it wasn't. It something like he says it will. He's pretty sure or absolutely sure it's going to boggle their minds. They can't comprehend it or something.
Yeah, it was one of those big things like you shouldn't look into this, but and then I love how right after this he passed the box going, "Pretty tantalizing though." So then like it goes to like the next kind of like a scene where they're all kind of standing around the box, no professor kind of thing, and Fry's like, "I've never wanted anything more in my life to ever look in this box," kind of thing. And Hermes shoots a gun saying, what was it here? He always talks about snakes.
So
it's like
scram,
scram you
snakes or something. Yeah,
scram you lousy snakes. And Zoidberg, Fry, and Bender like, woo, they run away. And then Hermes gives Leela this gun saying, "Hey, you can use this gun to shoot those guys with." Oh, if they look in the box, right? Whatever.
Yeah.
So
more instances that they don't care if they kill people in this universe. In this world. Yeah.
Hermes is pretty nonchalant about that for some reason in this episode, especially, kind of thing.
Twice, yeah. Well, we've had it before. What was the previous episode? They dealt with that as well, right? They had the piano wire situation, right?
Wasn't that a dream, or am I mixing things up?
You're mixing things up. No, it's she goes to. Oh, it's in the hero one, Less Than Hero.
Right.
And he's like, when you go to the mayor's office, can you pick me up a license to kill? So that's one thing. And then what does piano wire count as, right? And I think he's done one or two other ones in the past. But yeah, Hermes specifically, you're right. He doesn't seem to like people. As a bureaucrat, why would you, I suppose?
No, exactly. They just take up your day.
And of course, the professor, right? The professor is the one that chooses who. Oh no, sorry. Hermes is the one that dictates who protects the box, right? And of course, he chooses Leela of all the characters, right? Why does he choose Leela? Because she's not impulsive. Because she's the good person, right? So Yeah.
A booth with a green stripe on it. Hello.
Hello. That was a dream. Or a what if thing, right? So
Bender and Fry are in the office, and Fry is like, "Yeah, whatever. I don't really care about the box anymore." And Bender kind of like, "Well, that's because the professor was joking." Get it? No. Well, me neither. Let's go steal the box.
yeah.
So for some reason in the future, they still have steam vents. For some reason,
Yep.
and so like, yeah, we can get to the room that Leela's in regarding the box by the steam vent. So they go through there, and Bender doesn't get really affected by steam,
He
right?
doesn't care.
But Fry's like, it's so hot. Oh no, the butter in my pocket's melting.
Yeah.
Which is like, why does he have pocket butter? Like,
Why is Fry ever anything, right? And why is he climbing into a vent, right? But yes, I do like this as well. He's like sweating while Bender's like completely normal and Fry's like passing out. Yeah.
Fry's fine. So they get into the vent that's right above Leela, and I don't know why they added this in here. I feel like it was kind of we need to add like a few seconds of time. So Bender's like, hey, hold on 1 second. So he screws out his eyeballs, puts them in, and then he puts in periscope eyes, which this bothers me. So then he looks through, and then he rotates his eyes, but that's not how that would work because he doesn't have an extra thing that rotates both the eyes. It'd be individual things, so they'd be running into each other. Whatever, my own physics. So then he sees that Leela's asleep. Oh, sweet. So he extends his extendo arms, and goes and grabs the box and pulls it back up into the vent, closes the vent, and of course we hear Fry going, because it's so hot in the vent.
Well, so I just realized I think there's a small continuity thing here. So of course Leela is like sleeping, right? Quote unquote sleeping. She's pretending to sleep with that. And what is she sitting on? Like, what does it look like to us right away? What does it look like? It's like a
box.
It's a box. It's a seat, right? Like a box shaped thing, but there's a tarp over it, right?
There's
like
a white tarp,
And of course the yellow box that they take and pull it up. But you know what? I'll save this to the end. Actually, never mind. So continue on because it's something.
Oh
interesting.
yeah.
Sitting on
well,
that. Yeah.
Leela doesn't weigh as much as Fry.
Fair enough. Yeah. So yeah, the boys.
So yeah, they pull the box up and then go back to the where they climbed into the vent. And what's in the box? Tangled up Christmas lights, which Fry was really happy about for some reason, and unlabeled booze. Bender loves it.
Bender is super happy about.
It'll take hours for me to unravel. And then it turns out Leela was faking her sleep. She was fake sleeping. And so yeah, she was sitting on the box, the actual box. She's like, well, now that'll take care of those two for a few hours, kind of thing. Now I just gotta sit and wait till the professor gets back, and kind of thing, right? So then the time shifts later, and she's like, well, there we go. Nothing happened to the whole box. It's been the whole evening.
This whole evening. Yeah, all night, right? Yeah, right.
Yeah, all night. A whole evening of TV I got lost.
Yep.
I'm pretty tired. I'm gonna get coffee. So she has a coin, and there's a coffee vending machine inside Planet Express, which I find hilarious because it's like it wasn't there before.
1,000
and
years.
And then she's like, you know what? I'm gonna flip a coin.
This does actually make sense though, because in the future, right, one of the episodes in the Comedy Central run, don't they get a new vending machine that they make a big deal out of?
Also true, yeah. Right. But like the thing is, we're 5 seasons in, and we haven't seen a vending machine. We've seen like the kitchen.
Oh wait, no, haven't we seen a Slurm's vending machine though? Doesn't Fry use that during the Fry and the Slurm factory? Isn't there?
I feel like that was just outside of 7-Eleven or something like that.
No, because he would have just bought it. I'm pretty sure he had it there. But in any case,
you are right. He did put one in there because he kept having Slurm. Mm-hmm. But hold on. I think you're thinking of a different one. It's this Comedy Central one where he starts to glow because he had too much Slurm.
Maybe
that one.
Maybe
it's that's the one you're talking about. Yeah,
maybe.
They kind of start to like.
They kind of do.
If they had the same subject kind of thing, like there's like 5 Slurm episodes or something like that. It's like, yeah, there's been at least 2,
right?
Kind of thing, maybe 3. So they kind of blend together. Mm-hmm. So then she's like, oh man, I need a coffee. I'm gonna go coffee. What? Wait, I wasted my entire evening looking after this box. So I should take a peek, right? So she's like, I'll flip this coin. Heads I look, tails I don't. Flip heads. Oh, sweet. Nice. I mean, all right then.
Yes, so, I get to look.
She was still too happy. And she's like, oh, never mind. All right then. So she opens the box and looks in it and goes, wow, this is a deep box. And she falls into the box.
Nice.
And then she falls into the same room and she hits her. She's like, oh, my lawyers will hear about this. And so we hear off screen, oh, hey, Leela, what's wrong with your hair? What do you mean what's wrong with my hair? She looks up. There's Fry.
Here's a Fry. Yeah.
And Bender, who's golden. What's going on here? Your hair's all different. kind of thing. In walks a Leela with red hair.
Yes.
And cut to commercial because this is
So we're-
from the early 2000s.
Early
and there's
2000s.
only
So here we
TV at the
are.
time.
We're clearly in a parallel universe, right? So,
Yes, a different universe.
so what
This is
what
strange.
exactly are the differences here? So we have black-haired Fry, and he's also wearing like a green jacket.
Is
If
it
I'm not
green?
mistaken, right? And beige pants. So he actually looks, I think, the most different out of all of them in terms of like his outfits.
Oh yeah, you're absolutely right. Because the
yeah.
original Fry with the red jacket, white
orangey
t-shirt,
red hair. Yeah, red
blue
jacket,
jeans.
blue pants. Yep, blue jeans.
He
Yeah.
was based after, I believe it was James Dean from some movie back in like the 1960s or something like that.
Right. Yeah.
Or Marty McFly, which was
Yes.
more or less the same
Similar,
design,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. T-shirt with red jacket and jeans on, kind of thing,
Mhm.
right?
Yep.
Kind of like the
No hat.
everyday kid from that era, kind of thing, right? The 60s.
That's right.
Yeah. So Bender's all gold, like he's shiny gold. I don't believe that our Bender has like a highlight mark on him, kind of thing, like that shows to reflect light.
Yeah.
And Leela has red hair, kind of a yellowish white top, and then kind of like, I don't know what to say,
brownish
brown
pants or whatever.
brownish pants,
Right. Yeah.
and like brown boots rather than gray
Black.
boots.
Yeah.
So they're all slightly wearing different clothes, shades,
Mhm.
and a different hair.
I
think every one of them does. Every one of them does what we see.
That's right. And I also noticed, like, so when Leela falls into the box, right? So their box, Universe A's box, is yellow. Their
Our
box
universe.
is like a light blue,
Yeah.
right? And then when she pops out of Universe A into their universe or whatever, the only thing that really changes around them, I believe, is the Planet Express building. It's just turned blue. Everything else, I think, even the Planet Express ship is still green for whatever reason. I think that would have been cooler if they changed the color, but whatever.
Maybe not for one scene. Again, it was one of those things where like they could have like a budget, like, oh, we forgot to do it.
I guess the professor just wanted green in both universes. Maybe it wasn't a coin flip.
Yeah, which we later find out was the reason of the difference.
Yes. Sorry, continue.
So we cut back to outside the building, which the Planet Express is kind of a weird blue and kind of like a, not quite a lime green, but like a gross, dirty lime green, which is different from our Planet Express, which is like a red and green, like Christmas, kind of like a sad Christmas red and a sad Christmas green, not vibrant.
And the
sky is also like rainbowy, like, you know, like when you spill oil on the ground and you see like that weird reflection. That's what it kind of looks like, but brighter kind of thing. So then, we're back in the other Planet Express building, right? Black-haired Fry accuses Leela of being a guy in a wig,
right?
And then like Leela still has the gun to shoot our Fry and Leela, right? Yeah. So he's like, no, who are you guys? What's going on here? Other professor comes in with like its weird like head scar around him, kind of thing. He's like, oh, I must have created a parallel universe. And the thing about parallel universes, they're always evil. So which, you know, kind of makes sense for some reason. I'm pretty sure there's a whole bunch of
there's always an evil
where there's like
version.
A clone, and the clones were always evil for some reason, and it's just a weird trope in my mind. So then he commissions other Leela to go into that universe to explore around. So she's like, okay. So she jumps in, and then she comes back out. Come out of your universe with your hands up. And so we get the professor, Bender, Fry, and Amy, Zoidberg. Right. So 5, and Leela's there too. So 6 people. Yeah. They're all there with their hands up, kind of thing, right? And our professor's like, oh my gosh, I must have created another universe. And the other professor's like, you created crap, and like he punches him, ow,
right, kind
of thing, right? So then Leela and other Leela have an idea, like, we're gonna fight, no worries, because we think the same. I can outmaneuver. So they both just hit each other in the face, get knocked out. And this part because the other professor's like, now, when has parallel fighting ever solved anything?
Mm-hmm.
So we come back from that. They're sitting in the other Planet Express's break office room where the professors are sharing a giant chair together. I don't know when that was a thing, and
it's because they're just sitting in his chair. I guess they must have argued about who was going to sit there or something. Everybody else
probably off screen. Everyone else is just sitting in a chair. They're not sharing chairs like Leela and Leela aren't sharing a chair. Fry and so on and so forth, kind of thing, right?
But they are perfectly opposed to each other. Like metrically
it's
apart
kind of a
from
mirror.
Each other, right? Yeah.
So we now see the other Zoidberg, which is like not quite a baby blue, but it's like a lighter blue. I do like that one. I actually personally have a
figure with that version of it, right? Yeah,
Funk Pop or whatever those ones that were big.
So
you know, like
we have
babies.
The blue Zoidberg.
Yep,
the blue Zoidberg, and he's still wearing like the same outfit though, right?
I believe his again, it's just slightly tinted. Everything is slightly
I don't know if it
tinted
is. I
different.
think it's the same. I think just he's different for
No,
whatever.
no, because like the professor, like not it's not just the head scar.
Oh yeah,
He
his
has
is
kind of
slightly changed. Yeah,
a
his
slightly greener outfit and a slightly yellower lab coat.
lab coat.
So like
So
there is
okay,
a bit of a
okay,
difference.
yeah. We'll continue on then. So and then Amy's like brown haired, and then she's wearing a yellow jumpsuit,
Yeah,
right, rather than a pink one, right?
yeah,
Which apparently is like her reverse color, favorite color or whatever.
yeah, yeah.
And who was left again? It was just
Oh
those
yeah,
two we haven't
I
described.
got it up.
Oh,
Yeah,
the
so we'll go
professor has a scar on
from
his
the
head.
professor's table all the way to Bender. So it goes
Mhm. Yeah,
professor, Amy, Zoidberg, and Zoidberg does have a bit of a yellower jump coat. Like I said, they just tinted ever so
slightly.
slightly.
Okay,
Yeah, and then Fry and Fry, Leela, Bender,
right.
and so we don't see Hermes because
Nope, not
Hermes
yet.
went off and did his own thing in the other universe.
That's right.
So Professor, so they kind of like are explaining like, oh well, this is gonna get confusing, and then our Fry's like, oh, we'll be universe. Oh no, maybe it was Leela says we're universe A, you'll be universe B, and then Fry's like, yeah, this place kind of feels like a B, it's not A
Screw you,
plus. Yeah,
Universe One,
yeah, we'll be universe one. Oh, the mongooses, I like
or
the
the
mongooses.
mongooses. Yeah,
Team fighting mongooses.
other Fry. I love other Fry. So
Yeah,
happy.
just a slightly smarter version, like a better version, but not quite because he's still Fry, right? Because like
Yeah,
who would come up with the mongooses?
the fighting mongooses. Yeah, that's a pretty good
So
line.
after they have that conversation, kind of thing, like other professors, like you guys need to keep an eye on each other, kind of thing, right? I don't quite trust you guys to give you back your box, which I've hidden away, by the way,
What is the reason why they think that they're evil and why they had to hide the box? What are they planning to
because
do?
every parallel universe is just full of evil
But what are
versions.
they going to do with their box?
Destroy it. I think
Right,
that's what the
because that'll
professor was
destroy
putting.
their universe, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. So that's why
and
he's hidden it. Yeah.
our professor's like, yeah, and you guys do the same.
Mhm.
So we kind of cut
They're all
back.
hanging out with each other.
They're all
Yeah.
hanging out, yeah,
Except
there's another
for
commercial.
two of them hang out with each other.
Oh, right, exactly.
Mhm.
So other Fry and other Leela, we'll call them Leela B, Fry B, say, "Oh, can we look after each other together?" And Leela's like, "What are you guys dating? No, 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 we're married."
Yeah. So
And cut to
something has
commercial.
changed in this universe that has allowed
Yes,
Fry and Leela to actually be together, to the disgruntled dismay of our Fry, right? Of
our
Fry
Fry,
A.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And surprise of Leela A. Like she's like, what? Seriously?
Which is, yeah, I guess we can always go into theory crafting about these guys and stuff like that too. Because side note, we
Yeah.
do see some brief glimpses of Universe B or whatever they called in the most
Universe
recent
One.
Hulu run.
Right, yeah.
It's just very quick, like a
But it's
couple
not
frames
though.
here and
No,
there.
we talked about this. It wasn't. It has shared similarities to them, but the
It
Bender in
is.
that one is not gold. He's
It
silver.
is.
So it's
He
not.
maybe repainted himself. So
I doubt
yeah.
that.
Well, we don't know.
Glorious
We don't
Hope
know.
and Bender? No way.
Yeah,
But
yes.
I will
So
say as well, this is also where we find out about the coin toss. So
yes.
every
Oh right. Yes.
every flip of the coin.
Sorry.
No, because you kind of mentioned this
Right
before.
there.
Every flip of the coin is the opposite outcome. Correct?
Why
And
did our Leela look in the box, and why did other Leela did not? Well, I flipped the coin and it came to the heads, so I looked in. Oh, mine came up tails, so I didn't.
didn't. So
Good
that means
news, everyone.
that's right. But so this is what I actually wanted to bring up. So everybody on that table, at that table, right? So Professor, which we'll talk about, right? He has a scar, must be because of a flip of a coin, which we'll talk about. But
Yeah.
then Zoidberg is blue.
Well,
Fry has black hair. Amy has brown hair. Leela has red hair. Is this all just genetically different, and not
we,
the coin flip? I'm guessing.
we can go back in time and just say like it's one of those things that someone flipped a coin way back when on like, oh, I'll marry what's her name, or what's her name, kind of thing, right? Instead of marrying Mary, I married Betty, or Veronica
You're
and Betty,
saying that.
that kind of
So
thing.
you're saying that Fry's mom is no longer Fry's mom,
Yeah, I guess that would probably. I mean,
but he still comes
something
out as
like that.
Fry,
Something like
or
that.
she
Well,
has black
again,
hair rather than
it
red
could
hair.
be one of those things to just like
Mhm.
no matter what happens, you're born kind of thing. Like say for instance, you go back in time and actually kill your father, but your mom still has you, kind of thing. So
Okay.
because she gets with someone else, but you're just
What about
the soul
Zoidberg
that
then?
was
His
lined up.
entire species is blue now.
Well, in real life, lobsters can be different colors,
Different
right?
colors, sure.
It's like a one in a bazillion chance or something like to have certain things and stuff like that, right? Like there's yellow lobsters, blue lobsters, which are more common as a rare. But we could go with that. Like maybe the position his parents did infected it. I don't know.
Maybe, but that means that all Decapodians must be blue then, or is it just Zoidberg happens to be blue?
I'm gonna go with it as like that. He's like that 1 in a million
The
chance
one
kind
in a
of thing.
million chance. So they
Yeah,
happen to have the one blue. Okay, okay.
yeah, because they waited half a second later. I don't know. I don't
I
know.
do find this interesting. So, in any case, all the genetic differences just make me wonder, like, how is this a coin flip? But yes, it's just to differentiate the fact that this is a.
They could have just dyed their hair too. Like it's like, am I gonna dye my hair today? Oh yeah, or no.
I
I
suppose.
don't want to dye my hair today. I'm gonna flip a coin. If I get heads, I'm not gonna dye my hair. Heads.
So
Okay,
what did
good.
they
I
do?
can keep my natural purple. Oh, I gotta dye my hair red. So
Right.
it could be something as stupid as that, or as stupid as my theory.
Sure, sure.
Right. So we get back from the commercial after they're all supposed to keep an eye on each other. So we come back to Bender's kind of, they're just kind of both walking each other's like, I'm going to keep an eye on you. No, I'm keeping an eye on you.
And what
And
is
they kind of,
Yes. Well, I was just going to say, so before you continue on with that, the universe in itself, the city, is also like a different tint as well, is it not? I was trying to figure out how to describe it. Is it like more green? It's like a greenish look rather than like a grayish look or something. Like it just looks different. Something about it looks different.
it's just the sky. It's still the sky.
It's
Like,
not
like
the city.
I don't think they would waste all that time and tint all that. Like, because there might be a lot of reuse. I don't know if I don't know if you've seen this background before, because all they would have to do is just kill the screen, kill the sky behind it, right, and just repaint in
Right.
the new sky, right. So putting a tint over that or something that would just be extra work they wouldn't need to do, in my opinion. But I don't know. They could have.
It just
Done
it looks
something there.
different to me, but it could also be just you.
Oh,
expect
okay.
it to
You know
look
what? You know what
different
it
because
is.
of that. What?
So with backgrounds and stuff like that, this is still not something I'm kind of getting to. So you kind of have like different depths. There we go, depths of background, right? So Bender and Bender are walking down, right? So you can see the buildings built behind them, and then behind them there's kind of like grayed out buildings,
Yeah.
and then the sky. So that's just a depth thing. And in real life, if you look far away, like when we look at the mountains here, sometimes if it's like kind of
Yeah,
a bit
they're
of a cloudy day,
cloudy-ish or
they're a
whatever.
little,
It's not.
they're gray, right?
Yeah.
They're not
They're not crisp.
the
Yeah,
colors.
yeah.
They're not crisp, right?
Mhm.
So in the backgrounds and stuff like that, generally you want, depending on the, like, we'll say just like normal blue sky day, they'd be kind of like a slightly blue, maybe blue gray haze.
Mhm.
In this universe, because the sky is kind of like a green, pink, and all of the fun colors, it's more green than anything else. They have a green hue to it, so
Yes.
that might give you the
There you
illusion.
go. I thought that's what it was. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So
it looks more
the
green to
fogged
me.
out buildings in the background are greenish rather than gray or bluish.
That's right.
So I think that's what you're talking about. But it's such a minor thing that maybe the feel of it's different, but not really. Maybe that's what you're looking for.
That's probably what it was. Any case, sorry to interrupt you. Yeah, so the Benders are there, and they're like, yeah, we're gonna go to strip joint or whatever, right?
And so they do, but they can't be mad. What's the phrase here that we held on to that for one of the new episode titles?
This they don't say it here, but yeah, you're talking about the one is silver, one is gold thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
one
they
is
don't say it
silicon,
here,
one is
but
gold. Yeah.
it's one is
Way to
silver,
trick
one
us.
is gold here, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know. I'm
phrase, yeah.
quoting.
Yeah,
I'm quoting the episode that was not
the
very
Hulu
good.
one. Yeah.
So then Bender like, we're best friends now. So
Yes.
then it cuts to Amy and Amy, and
Yes.
they're doing their toenails, right? And so
I love
this.
parallel Amy here, or Amy.
It's true.
Amy 1. Yeah, Amy 1 is like, yeah, what an imaginary friend.
I'm not imagining. I'm just parallel.
Yeah, I also like the fact that they're wearing their jumpsuits. They're painting their toenails the color of the opposites jumpsuits, right?
Yeah.
Amy A is wearing a pink one, and she's painting her toenails yellow. So,
and now we're going to Elzar's Fine Cuisine, where we see Leela and Fry looking at the married couple, Leela and Fry. And so they're like, well, what happened? How did you guys get out? Like, start going out? And Mongoose Fry is like, well, I asked her like millions of times because she always come up with excuses. And then one time she said, yeah. And she's like, other Leela was like, yeah, you know, I was going to come up with an excuse about a ghost, but I don't think he would have bought it. So I flipped the coin and I got tails. So I said, sure, why not? And turns
out it was a good thing.
Yeah. And then our Fry's like, so that's why you had to go with that meeting with that ghost thing. And our Leela's just kind of like, oh yeah, this is not looking good for me. And so then it went out. Leela and Fry B went out on a date, and then like a year later they got married. And
turns out they're very happy.
Leela a gold encrusted scrunchie, and our Fry's like, well, 1 year later I went out to a Neil Diamond concert, got beat up by a guy named Scrunchie. What a name. Hey, dude, what's your name? My name's Scrunchy.
Well,
Gonna beat you up.
I love the mix up of the terms, right? Like 1 year later I gave her a diamond scrunchie, and then he's like 1 year later at a Neil Diamond concert I got beat up by a guy named Scrunchy. So I thought that was
That's good.
pretty good. Yeah.
That
That's one
is
of my
pretty
favorite
good.
lines actually.
I just got the scrunchy thing. I did the Neil Diamond encrusted
Diamond
scrunchy.
and Diamond
That's
encrusted.
clever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's clever. Yeah, that's why it's a Neil Diamond concert, right?
So
I
you can tell
also,
Fry's. Oh yeah, sorry.
well, no, I was just gonna say I also like that. So in this universe, Elzars still exists as well. We never see him, but Elzars the restaurant still exists. So it must not
Maybe
have
he
been
flips a
coin flip.
coin on because he's a parallel to a lot of the chefs of like the late '90s and early 2000s, right? So we'll say like Gordon Ramsay, right? So maybe he's at another restaurant, another Elzar's restaurant. Maybe that's
Like
how he flips a
Elzars,
coin.
but Elzars the franchise exists.
Yeah.
You know
But
what I
I'm just
mean?
saying because like usually
Yeah,
we see him in our universe at there. He's usually
sure, but
serving
he's not there
a
this
making
time.
product.
Sure,
Yeah. So I'm
whatever
just
you're
saying
saying.
maybe he
Yeah,
flips a coin of like where he goes. Like heads I go to the A, tails I go to B kind of thing,
right.
right?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
I'll
go to
work
this
at B tonight.
restaurant,
I'll
my
work at A.
restaurant, right? Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
makes
Yeah.
sense. Yep.
Head canon
Mhm.
kind of thing. Because like, what would Neptunians be? Would they be a different color as well, or would they have 6 arms instead of
Well,
four, or would they only have two arms?
that's exactly the question. And would he have a different catchphrase in this universe? He's like Mab
Blam.
or Blam, something like this,
Yeah,
right?
blam instead of bam.
Yeah,
Yeah, blam. I like that actually.
yeah. We never saw him, but that'd be fun if we did.
So
Then we
our
have,
fry is quite kind of put
yeah,
off by like the fact that it's just like, oh man, Leela's like, she's like
yeah.
not going out with me out so many times, and
I could have
look how
been with
happy.
Leela. I could
Yeah,
have been with
look
Leela.
how
That's basically what
happy.
he's
Look how
thinking. Yeah,
happy we could
yeah,
have been.
yeah.
Because like even other Leah's like, you really missed out on something. Like we were pretty happy.
Hmm.
So it's just like, wow, that's a little sad. I
Yeah,
also do love though that other Fry and other Leela, like they're all dressed up and everything, and meanwhile our Fry and Leela are just in their regular clothes. Like they wouldn't
yeah.
share their clothes to go out to a nice restaurant.
Well, I was gonna say we're kind of. I guess we could also make the argument that they don't have their own clothes and they don't know how long they're going to be there. And I don't think they want to bring them back
Well,
to
I
their
mean, like
place, right? We don't even know where they're living. Where are they living?
Universe B wouldn't
Yeah,
share their clothes.
that's true too. Yeah, it's like, oh, we're
Yeah.
the same size. You guys can just have our clothes as well. But I guess it's not for them. They're not on a date. They're actually on like a date night thing, right? So it makes sense for them to be in better clothing.
So the next pair we see is Professor and other Professor, and for some reason they're just kind of like counter screwing
What is this thing
a
called?
thing.
The
Chandelier
chandelieromat?
stat.
Oh, a
Oh,
stat,
stat.
right?
Like
Yeah,
I think like a thermostat, like
right.
chandelier
Just
stat.
changing the light, the
Yeah,
light amount.
yeah. It kind of reminds me of like Bugs Bunny thing where
Duck season, wabbit season.
no. Well,
Oh,
yes, but not that specific one
hmm.
where Bugs Bunny would go up the stairs or down the stairs, and then the other person would go up. They're like, oh, he turned off the lights, click, and then he would start to go down, but then Bugs Bunny would turn off the
Oh,
lights to
sure.
try and slam it. So they go
Right.
back up and forth, click, click, and then Bugs Bunny would go click, say click, and then he would come down and Bugs Bunny would be in the crowd.
Right.
That humor just it's very stupid, but it's
It's of
funny.
their time.
It's
Yep.
funny.
Yeah, slapstick humor.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
this
love
one is
slapstick
literally them
humor.
just turning it, and then doesn't the professor just say like, "Oh, that was pointless." They're just killing
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, Professor, kooky Professor.
And the last
So
one
then,
should be Zoidberg, right? Our
yes,
final one.
sorry.
Yeah.
Right. So now we go to a dumpster where we see both the Zoidbergs having fun, talking about those lives. Isn't our Zoidberg say like I design mansions and then live in them, and then the other Zoidberg's like I'm a what did he say?
No, he's a
Can't remember what he said.
doctor. Ours
Oh,
says
he's a
he's a
doctor.
doctor, and then the other one
Right.
says that he's a mansion. Creates mansions. Because I was going to ask about this. So does that mean the blue Zoidberg is an architect, not a
Well,
doctor?
no,
Yet he's
no,
still
no, no,
wearing
no, no.
doctor scrubs, or is he just pretending to be?
His doctorate was in art history. He actually used that as that rather than faked it into being an actual doctor. There's some Zoidberg
How does
lore
that
for you.
How does that work though? Art history wouldn't make you an architect either.
It's in the similar world. You could be an architect. You study architecture and art history because there was some cool stuff. I learned what the word buttress means. Do you
Right.
know what it means?
No. What does it mean?
No. Oh geez. So it's kind of a way to hold up something. Like say you have a wall and you lean a stick up against it to kind of help prop it up. That I think
That's
is
called a
considered a
buttress.
buttress. Yeah.
Cool.
And there's different things and stuff like that. Like there's a thing called a flying buttress, which is just a funny phrase for me.
So are you
I think-
saying then that the blue Zoidberg
could
and Red
legitimately have
Zoidberg
done art.
they both have their art history degrees. The red one flipped a coin and decided to go into medicine with his art history degree, or pretend to
Well,
be a doctor, and then the other one stuck with it and actually continued on with like the plan of art history forming into architecture or something. Is that what
or it
you were
could just be
thinking?
that they're both lying because that was the thing. I'm
They're
actually
both
lying.
lying.
Me too, but a big fat one,
Yeah.
kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
So, honestly, yeah, I'm pretty sure if we were to apply our head canon, because
Mhm.
Our Zoidberg's parents wanted him to be a doctor rather than a comedian,
That's right.
right?
Mhm.
Well, that Zoidberg could have wanted to have been an architecture rather than a doctor. So
Architect.
he's just
Yeah. That's right.
architect. Sorry,
Yeah.
like
Rather than
Ted Mosby. So maybe that's what he wanted to do.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure. Yep.
but they both end up being doctors, kind of thing, right?
Sure.
So
And they're
then they
both
just
screw
like,
ups. Yeah.
yeah, they both just get mad because it's like no one likes us Zoidbergs, kind of thing. Yes, it's true, but you know what we could do? What I saw what the
Steal the
professor
box.
hid
Yeah.
in the box. Yeah, yeah, steal the box. So then now we're all back into the office room, and the professors are like, you know what? We've spent some time with each other. We both come to realize, no, we're not evil. Hooray, kind of thing, right? And then we see a Hermes with like blonde hair.
Yeah. He has blonde hair for whatever reason. So that this is like another genetic difference. And he's wearing a different suit. I think he's wearing like a
Yeah.
purplish or a blue suit or something.
It's like a
Yeah.
gray blue
It's
rather
it's
than brown.
different. Yeah, it's different to
Yeah,
his other one for sure. Yeah.
yeah,
So he has blonde hair.
yeah. So again, I'm gonna go back with that. Either they all there's like a dye your hair day. They all got the opposite, and they just it could be. We'll go with something simple like that rather than like genetic history. Like, oh, great grandmother
Mm,
had slept with this person and still trickled down to be the same person now. I don't know.
sure.
So he's like, hey, Hermes, what are you doing? Well, I was gonna come and destroy the box like you wanted me to. Oh, wait a minute. If your Hermes was going to destroy the box, our Hermes
The
is.
other
Oh
Hermes must be.
my
Yeah.
God.
And sure enough, we see that Hermes is taking that box, right? And he's like off to do
Which,
it.
yeah,
And he says the
the
same
other
phrase
Hermes
or
says
something.
like
Yeah.
my great grandmother,
Granny
Hermes.
always said.
You gotta throw a box in the sun. You better do it yourself.
Right.
Which I love that as a phrase.
His granny actually predicted this would happen.
The professor and the other professor are looking for the box, and the other professor's in a giant fish tank,
Yeah. Where
and
he hid it, right? Yeah. Because
where he hid it.
nothing than a crazy lobster would ever go into said fish
Only
tank.
yeah, only a crazy lobster would look in here,
And of course.
and it's gone.
Hmm. And who has it, obviously? The
The
Zoidbergs.
Zoidbergs,
Yeah.
and I think one of our favorite things in our universe is that we love when both the Benders are like, "We're doomed,
Doomed.
doomed."
Yes. And that's yeah, he's like, "Oh, you what does he call them? Like you cry babies or something or whatever. We have one slim chance. We're going to
So yeah,
remake a box or
the
something."
other professor's like, we need to make more boxes of universes so that way we can go find where they are,
Yeah.
where
Or
your
get back to
universe
our
is.
universe, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So then we see both Zoidbergs come in and it's like, oh, they're the idiots, are. And then I love our Zoidberg talks to Bloom, and I think he's talking about you. And so they kind of like, we need those boxes, but so they kind of and they hit a shelf which has all these boxes on them because
Mhm.
the
With
professors
other
made the boxes.
universes. They've
You know,
created
the other
more
universe.
universes, right?
And,
Yeah.
I love this little sequence because, like at the
Me
beginning,
too.
where we
Yeah.
hear the professor going ah kind of thing. There's nothing wrong. There's just a flashing light, and it kind of vibrates the room a little bit. So there's no danger whatsoever. And both professors are like
That's right.
and
Yeah.
everyone else is just like, yeah, it's making boxes.
Yeah. And
So sorry. So then they put them
yeah.
all on the shelves because they couldn't find it, kind of thing, right? So they scared the Zoidbergs and they hit the shelf. All
Yep.
the boxes came down and fell on one. And with the box, and the Art Zoidberg's like, "You coward!" And then he follows them, but then
Yes.
the rest of the box falls, and so now they're all misorganized. So, oh crap!
And
We
they
need
don't
to
know which one
find.
they fell
We
into.
don't. Yeah, we don't know which one because they're all the same color. They're not
Yes.
different colors.
Yeah, they're the blue ones of that unit.
However, they were labeled, but they didn't see which one they would jumped into. If you look at some
Correct.
continuity, they all were labeled.
Universe
there's a
25
whole-
through like
yeah, whatever it was.
1016 or something. Yeah.
I think I looked it up on IMDb because Billy West plays like 20 people here. I'm pretty sure that's not true, but
Yeah,
there's a lot of names.
I made a note of all the different types of universes that we either see or are mentioned, or we kind of
There's at least 1,729.
yes, and and they have them labeled. Funny enough,
Yeah.
actually, they don't call them like Universe A either, right? Or
No
A through Z,
numbers.
because it's just simply like 1 through all that stuff. So the universe that created them just uses the numerical thing, which is of course them, because they're Universe 1. So I thought that's kind of cool.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think if we actually look at it and stuff like that, there's only like maybe like 6 universes that people talk in, but
Yeah.
according to IMDb,
There's like over 1,000. Yeah.
up to 1,729.
Well, the one I think before the Zoidbergs arrive, right? We have the Frozen universe, which flies in and his head is frozen, right? So we have that. We have one that's all women, which the professor is really into, so he wants to save.
Well, here's my question, because
yeah.
all these boxes are made by the professor, so it's literally lady professor kissing male professor.
It's a bunch of, I believe it's all the people are women.
Yeah, if we really want to think about
this, male characters, exactly. I think and then the squid one. That
we see Leela run
by. I think that's just an underwater one. I don't think it's like a squid run one. I think it's just like underwater, and she happens to be stuck with the squid thing.
If we really want to think about it, that could be from the second movie with Yivo.
I don't think it's the same tentacle thing though.
There's similar
I
color.
think it's an underwater one, but fair enough.
Yeah.
I
mean, it's just simple tentacles, but I'm going headcanon. That universe got taken over by
underwater.
Or no, that is a universe that is Yivo, or it could be a young Yivo or something, right?
I suppose I'd still say underwater, but sure.
Oh, you're probably right, but there's no water coming out of it. So then we see Hermes with a box on his head. He said, "I can't. I just have a giant head and it's stuck."
Yes, we don't know which one that is, unfortunately.
It's not a universe; it's just a box stuck on my head.
Yeah,
So then
that's what the
Zoidbergs come in, and then they fall into another box. Mm-hmm. So then it's like, oh, quick, after them! Everyone take a length of various wire here. So a spool of wire, they all jump in.
Well, this is their diamond tether, right? This is his diamond tether. This is what we've seen this in the other universe as well. Yeah.
Because this is how they pull another joke about various lengths of wire.
No, I think it's the diamond tether diamond tether wire, because he has it on that little spoke and he can tie it to them and then they jump in.
Mm-hmm. But so they start chasing them, right? So this is where we see a whole bunch of different universes and everyone jumps into their own thing. I think the first one we see Amy pop up and, hey, have you guys seen 2 smelly lobsters? And then they turn around. They don't have any eyes.
Yes. The first one, no eyes Hermes, universe. Yeah,
we didn't see anything. Never.
Yeah.
And we see a whole bunch of other ones too. What was your favorite out of the ones?
Well, we have so we have Fry pops in and then he asks one universe and the bobblehead universe, and they're just really rude to him for whatever reason.
Come on. Yeah.
Then Leela, who pops into a robot version of the universe, and I like this universe actually. This one might be my favorite. And all of them are robot versions of themselves. And then she says, like, does not compute and blows up the other Fry after he asks her out on a date, the robot one. And then Bender and other Bender are in, I call it like ancient Greece or ancient Rome version of the universe. And the professor's there.
Professor's there rating like,
and they even call this universe, I think it's 17, but it's in Roman numerals. So that was kind of cool. Yeah.
Or XVII, sorry.
Yeah. So that was kind of cool. And then they're talking about other universes we never see, unfortunately. One was a leprechaun universe with gold, and one of them was pirate universe with like treasure. So they're kind of talking about that. And then what was the last one? Oh, right. And the last one with the universe 1 Amy and the hippies. But of course they haven't made
420 is universe 420.
The Farnsworths going to into the hippie universe, and it's just Professor and another Amy,
which is an afro.
Yeah, whatever. Or like Amy with an afro and Professor with like the long hair. And they only made one box because they're too lazy to make the other boxes.
Too high. Yeah.
So
this is where the Zoidbergs go like, oh, there's no other boxes, and then the other 2 professors pop up and says, there they are, and then they grab the box.
Yeah.
And I do love this. Was like, whoa, dig it, man! Who knew there'd be a universe? And
right,
there's lots of other universes, you idiot. There's a universe in all of us. And then the hippie professor gives him a flower, to which our professor's like, get a job. And then they jump back into their universe. Everyone pull on their tether. Let's get back. So now they all pop out of all the boxes, and they're all in universe B's. Thing like quickly, everyone jump into universe
1.
Universe 1. Yeah, okay, universe 1. We're on universe 1, other universe. Everyone get into our universe A and stop Hermes. So they all jump in, dive in, and stuff like that. I gotta say, as an animator for this, having to keep track of where people are, especially with like the very little differences, like in the professors, for instance, they have the smallest of things, right? Because it's just one
difference,
non-colored. If you look at them all non-colored,
Mhm.
Zoidberg would probably be the worst one, and Amy, because they're exactly the same shape and same thing. It's just not colored. So you got to figure where all the continuity is in that, right? For the colorist.
Sure.
So it would be annoying to do this because what is there? There's 8 people or 10 people.
Something like that. Yep.
Yeah, so that's a lot to animate too.
Yeah,
So getting them all to fall
yeah.
and dogpile on each other, that's a lot of work.
Yep.
So yeah, so our professor's like, quick, into our universe. So they all jump into the box.
They all, and of course, what was it? Hermes has been flying the box to the sun at this point, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Our Hermes just arrived at the sun, and we see this part of the ship which we've never seen before, the ejection port.
I will never see it again.
Nope, probably. I mean, did we? No, we probably didn't see it during that one episode with Was that in the Comedy Central one where they got the shapeshifter and they all did like a team building thing?
Yeah, I don't. No, I think they shot him, didn't they? They didn't shoot him out. They killed him.
Oh no, I'm just because they were all hiding all over the ship because it was a ship-shaping monster. So they all hid.
Yeah,
right. I'm surprised we didn't see this room.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we saw the basement, but we never see that.
And the safety room where they were playing Monopoly.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Candyland. Yeah, the name of the game is Candyland. Yeah.
So we see this ejection port, and Hermes is trying to put the box in there, and he puts it in there, closes the hatch, and just as he's about to hit the eject button, which I love is just a simple button that says eject.
Yep.
They all pop out of the box going blah, 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 on top of each other. Like, yeah, that's a lot of work there to do.
Yep.
And so, yeah, the professor's banging on the door. Quick, no, Hermes, don't hit the button.
Don't hit that button.
And so we get Hermes doing like the hand on the chin going, and then we see the professor, like his face is pushed against it. He looks so sad, like, please don't.
Yeah. And then it goes to the button, then back to the professor, then back to the button.
Yeah. Okay. So he didn't push it. So now we're back in our universe, right? They're all saying goodbye to each other, kind of thing, like, hey, it was great working with you. Goodbye, Your Majesty, because the Zoidbergs were pretending they were kings or something like that.
That's right.
Is it my turn to have the box now? The box says no. And so they all say goodbye, and they all go. All Universe 1 goes back to Universe 1, and our universe is saying goodbye. And so we see Leela and Fry, other Fry, kiss. And our Fry goes there, but for the flip of the coin, go we, kind of thing. So then he's like, well, hey, Leela, do you want to maybe catch an ape fight later? Which in its own self is just hilarious because animal cruelty
in this universe is not the first time we've seen this. We've seen ape fights. Yeah, multiple times. Yeah.
And so Leela's like, okay, let me flip a coin. So she flips it, and like, you don't look at it. She slapped her hand on it, and she's like, you know what? Why don't we just call this heads? Which is lovely. It's a lovely little thing.
She didn't even look. Exactly. Yeah. She's her own choice. Yeah.
She's making her own choice. Yeah, there's a whole thing here we could talk about free will and destiny and stuff like that.
That's exactly what sure we could talk about that. Yeah, for sure.
So then they just kind of like, that sounds like good. And so then we cut to the professor saying, okay, he puts his hand in the box and he's like, okay, on 3 or 1, 2, 3 or 3, 2, 1 or whatever. So we see that they're kind of pulling their own boxes and they're like, what's going on here? So they essentially, once they finish it pulling it apart, they pulled their own universe's box into each other's own universe. So now, correct.
Their own
universes. Yes. So the professor is now holding the box of their universe, and the other professor has their universe. So we never see them ever again, which is so unfortunate, except for maybe that flashback, which could or could not be them. Whatever.
Probably not, but yes.
So now the professor's like, we have our own box. So Bender's like, cool. And so he starts shaking it, which shakes the whole universe.
Which is its own issue as well, but yeah, sure. And so Leela takes it from him, right? Yeah. And then they hide it. Not really.
What is it? Let me see if I can remember. Yes, all that ever will be and shall be is now in this box, and also the box is probably worth a little something too.
Yeah.
So I like that little joke. It's like, oh yeah, let's not forget about the box that our universe
itself is probably worth a couple bucks. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So where do they put it? They put it next to the couch, and everyone's sitting on the couch watching TV. And Fry comes in and he's like, "Oh." So he sits down on the box, which squishes the box, unlike Leela from earlier. Yeah. And then we see that our universe gets
wider.
Like squished a little bit, squished and widened.
Yeah.
And then Fry's like, because like it just feels comfier to be slightly squished and stretched.
Maybe.
And then
or he just likes the comfort of the box. Yeah.
Yeah, or the comfort of the box. Yes. Yeah. And that's it for the Farnsworth Parabox.
Yes.
Honestly, I do love this episode. There's a lot of stuff in there, and I'm not doing it justice by saying what happened. Lots of jokes, kind of thing. I love the relationship between.
You did mention a lot of the jokes, but no, I think you're right. There's a ton of really good jokes in this episode. That's why it's one of my favorites as well. I didn't actually ask you, what was your favorite of the universes that they kind of dive through? Did you have any as well?
I don't know. None of them really kind of. I just like the universe that we like, the universe one kind of thing. I like that universe because it was close enough.
Spend
Yeah,
the time with. Mm.
Which makes such a different, like a parallel difference. It's like, well, that one was actually kind of cool, right? It all had coins. Now the ones with no eyes, what was
that
the
about?
factor?
So
what was the factor there?
That's a genetic thing. That must be a genetic thing. But of course, doesn't the professor say the thing that differentiates the most about, or a critical difference in between their two universes, are the coin flips? It's not the only difference, right?
I guess that's true.
So we can
we could also say, like, what Earth's sky wasn't blue and it was all color. Did the Earth flip a coin?
Yeah, exactly. No, it's just literally the universe in itself, right?
Yeah.
But then little things that can easily be changed, like the Planet Express building is blue instead of red. That's kind of fun because it means, like, oh, maybe the professor flipped a coin and he's like, oh, hey, I wanted blue or red, and I don't know which one to choose, and he does
blue with green or red with green. Red with green.
So
I'll make a coin flip. Yeah, so just I don't know. None of them, I just liked Universe One. We'll say, just because it actually mattered a little bit. The bobblehead one was pretty funny, but that in itself is a terrifying thought of, like,
just rude.
How the hell do they breathe and stuff? They're bobbleheads.
Right.
It would have been cool to see more of the universes and stuff like that. And I don't know. Maybe we might see in the future, kind of thing, because maybe the professor decides, I want to see that professor again, because they made at least 1,700 different boxes. Maybe they want to visit him again, and they could jump through all the universes, and we could see a couple more. Maybe one where they're all mermaids or something like that. They all grew up in Atlanta.
Do another, Atlantis. Oh, Atlanta. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we could do another one where they, like, it could be like the sequel, the aforementioned sequel of the Parabox.
Yeah,
that's true. Yep, it could be an actual evil version of them too, pretending to be them too. Who knows? Sky's the limit, really, with parallel universes.
They kind of did that with, not in this one, but I remember there was a Family Guy episode where Stewie found an evil version of himself, and instead of
like a truly evil version,
instead of a red shirt and yellow overalls, it was a yellow shirt and red overalls.
Mm-hmm.
It was interesting, but I don't know. I think it's kind of an overplayed trope. But not that I wouldn't care about not seeing it. I would love to see it, but just not with the current stuff.
Sure. Yeah, makes sense.
But what was your favorite joke? Who was your MVP?
Yeah, I would say, well, my MVP is Professor Farnsworth. I think he has
which one? The hippie one?
Ooh.
Wow, bad choice. The robot one?
I was gonna say, well. That's a good point, because I was thinking about that too. Are we going to differentiate between Universe A and Universe 1? I suppose we could. I would say Universe A, our professor, just because I think he has a lot of the great lines, and it's kind of his whole thing, right? I think that was really good. And he's like the reason this whole episode gets set up that way. My favorite joke. I mean, I did write a few of them down. I did like the beat up at a Neil Diamond concert by a guy named Scrunchy. I thought that was
actually very clever.
There's one,
very clever.
I think this is actually Universe 1 professor who says this, but like when Hermes 1 pops in and he says, like, oh, like what my granny always used to say about the boxes in the sun, and he's like, to hell with your granny. I thought that was pretty good. And then of course Fry 1's fighting mongooses. I it's all good. It's all good. Yeah. How about you?
Oh, geez, it's hard to. I do like the relationship between Zoidberg and Zoidberg, where it's like, is it now my turn with the box? Maybe the box says no. I do like that. I'm gonna say my favorite are. I'm gonna put both of Zoidberg's kind of thing.
Zoidberg, sure.
Yeah,
I'll put Zoidberg. I'm gonna say for this one that whatever we say for it means both of them, because they spend a lot of time with each other, right? They're talking to each other, so I think that's fine. So Zoidberg, okay.
Yeah.
Did you also have a favorite scene then and everything, or? I did like the scene of them jumping through all the different universes. I thought that was kind of fun.
Well, like I said, I have a high appreciation for the animators on this one, because they had to do a lot of group scenes, and that's just annoying to do. Mm-hmm. Although I think when I looked at when they came out of the box, I think each parallel person had the same animation. They just moved it over so they weren't falling on the same spot. So sure. I think they technically only animated each person once. And they just moved them over and just recolored them. So I'd have to look at that frame by frame again. Probably be some reuse. Yeah. But favorite scene. Ooh, that's a toughie. I just like this whole episode. It was just always consistently pretty good. Mm-hmm.
I
Actually,
did.
oh, yeah, here we
Yeah,
go. I
I
think I
did
got
like
it.
that. Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
I think because at the beginning we hear the professor going, oh, Zeus, God, you
Right.
save me," kind of thing, and then we just literally find out it's just the box that's just like when it's making the box, it's just flashing lights and just slightly vibrates the room, kind of thing. And so
Mm.
it was all on the
Like, what is
professor's
he
head.
actually doing? Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's right. Yeah.
yeah. Well,
He's
here,
covered in dirt and everything though. Afterwards, maybe he was
here,
actually physically creating the machine. But
exactly.
yeah.
Here's my headcanon.
Okay.
Because the professor was the one that made the machine,
Yeah.
it used his DNA to replicate every universe. So it actually was pulling from him to the point where it was
Mhm.
causing him pain. Like it was literally being pulled from him.
Right.
But they didn't really, show that. They just kind of, just the professor was making a big deal out of
Yeah.
nothing, kind of thing,
Well,
right?
well, it's
So that's my headcanon, that like they were using the professor to kind of be the blueprint for each one. That's just,
yeah. Well, because in when they're talking in Universe One, right, and the two professors are talking about like, oh, hey, when I created your universe, like I created your universe. Like it seems like they did it at the same time, right? So no matter what, and then we have all these other boxes and all these other universes that all have multiples, except for that one. The hippie universe has only the one box.
universe 420. Yeah.
Yeah, but they all is that what it was? Is it
Yeah,
420?
it was
Oh, okay, that's
420.
pretty clever. And
Yeah.
then all of them are kind of like, they must have all had the similar ideas. So the professor, the one thing that's the same about the professor is that he had this idea for this universe thing. So I guess it must have just sparked his imagination all at the same time in every universe, which is pretty
Well,
cool.
yeah, that's why I'm saying it's just like a head canon kind of thing. Like it's not really explained. Just the professor made a universe. That professor made their
Yeah,
universe at the same time.
yeah.
Who's to say who did it first, or were these all their beginning? And
Mhm.
then these boxes weren't technically a universe. It was just the pathway to it.
Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
know, a
No, fair enough.
wormhole,
Yeah, yeah.
whatever. All right, so that really concludes this episode of the
Mhm.
Farnsworth Parabox.
Absolutely.
And I guess we'll see everyone next time for the next episode, 300 Big Boys, which is a pretty good one. I
Yeah,
liked it a lot.
yeah,
So it
I do too.
says more about Leela.
Mhm.
And so we get to see more about Amy and Kif, which is always a plus.
Yep.
And yeah, thank you, Anthony, for being the co-host on this. Hopefully next time you'll be back at the front at the wheel, and I can continue to be me.
We'll just have to flip a coin, I guess.
Ooh, I call tails. We'll see everyone next time.
Nice. Toodaloo.
Toodaloo.